Well, the dream of Eric Seidel to capture his second WPT title is going to be just that shortly, a dream, unless he gets something going here. He's just been marching with 2 left feet all night long, hadn't caught much. When he has caught a hand, he's folded.
All right, it's on Chang. He's got 8-5 of hearts, gonna raise. Makes it 175 to go. Joe gonna call with 10-7 of diamonds. Eric out. And now it's on Paul Volpe, who's picked up ace-king.
All in.
He says all in.
Yeah, no more slow playing like he did those kings.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson there. Kai out. And Joe won't play either, so Paul Volpe finally coming back. Get some chips back in his stack. Well, exciting action here at the Bay 101 as they go after a huge title. But right now, let's check out the best of Season 10.
Bay 101 has always been the stage for crazy action.
Yes!
And Season 10's final table lived up to its promise. After a sequence of big bluffs and bets by amateur player Ubad Habib,
That's how we do it.
he made another move when he went all in over the top of Joe Sirac, holding a lowly queen deuce.
All in.
Joe Sirac confidently made the call, and with the odds stacked against him, Ubad still held out hope.
We got live cards.
Anything can happen with 5 cards to come at Bay 101.
Joe celebrated as he took a commanding lead in the hand, and Ubad saw his tournament life heading down the drain. Needing running cards to stay alive, Ubad hit a 4 in the turn to give him a glimmer of hope. And with 1 card to come, the local amateur had faith in the dealer to spike a lucky river card.
Come on, if anybody can do it, you can do it.
Then fortunes changed with a turn of a card when Ubad made a backdoor straight and the crowd went nuts. Future WPT Player of the Year Joe Sirac was stunned and silent as Ubad pumped his fist in victory after what became the best suck out of Season 10. This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
What's it like playing here at Bay 101?
It's unlike any other event I think on the tour.
Bay 101 is probably the best tournament on the entire circuit.
The bounty is the 10K bonus.
Everyone here is so friendly. Everyone's just having a fun time.
It's just a warm atmosphere.
So what do you think of the Bay 101 fans?
They love poker.
The fans make this tournament. They always come out in huge droves. They're loud, they're supportive.
Almost feels like a football match like home or something. You know? Fans just come down to see their heroes, their poker heroes.
Do you feel that it's an honor or a curse being a bounty?
It's a huge honor to get to be a bounty.
I don't ever think it's a curse. I mean, my table kind of sucks. Nobody's chasing me. I mean, it's $1,500 cheap on the buy-in, so I guess it can't be that bad. They fly us up here. They take care of us. They treat us like royalty.
How can you be the ones to watch and not be a bounty? Yeah, maybe next year.
This isn't coming off. This will be the last one standing.
Welcome back to the final table of the Bay 101 Shooting Star Tournament. And another wrong prediction by Mike Matasso, as you saw. And there you see Joe Nguyen well out in front with 9.7 million in chips. Second place, Chang with 6.7. And the 2 superstars supposedly at the table are on the 2 short stacks.
And Eric Seidel is circling the drain. He's down to 720. Action on Paul Volpe, a quick fold. And now Chang with King 10 is raised to 175.
Well, Joe Nguyen loves to play. He makes the call with the ace-8.
Eric goes out. So ace-8 versus King 10, and the flop comes up ace-6-5. Aces for Joe Nguyen.
Nice flop for Joe Nguyen. He's going to check the aces, though. Going to allow Kai to make a continuation bet here, and that's what's happened. 175,000.
Joe Nguyen, telephone repairman, very tricky. Loves to have these guys bet when he hits, and he's making the call.
Well, now an 8 comes off. Joe Nguyen has the top 2 pair. As you can see, Kai drawing completely dead. No card he can catch to win the pot. And yet here he goes, firing 200,000 out there.
Raise.
And now finally Joe coming in, swooping down, says raise.
It's the minimum raise, but it is a raise, and obviously no way Kai can go any farther with this hand. He's just posturing here. Does lay it down.
Well, Mike, these are the two chip leaders, and they're going for the throat.
Joe Nguyen taking down yet another pot, and Vince, in my mind, Eric Seidel has got to make something happen fast. Only got 600,000 or so left. Just can't wait anymore. That bounty necklace is going in the center of the pot soon, I promise you that.
It's true, but he is a shrewd guy, and he's just thinking to himself, why force the issue? Because the difference between fourth place and third place is big, big money. So he's saying maybe this Paul will get involved with a hand. He'll get knocked out right before. So there's a lot of different strategies going on right now.
Well, Eric Seidel just doesn't have time to wait, Vince.
Maybe he doesn't, but back to this hand. Look at this. Chang has picked up the weapons of mass destruction, the pair of aces.
Well, Kai's been so aggressive, raising a lot of pots with 4 deuces and everything else. Now, all of a sudden, he's picked up 2 aces.
Makes it 175, but Joe Nguyen behind him with a pair of deuces. This could get him into some trouble here.
Joe certainly not worried about clashing with the guy in second place. He is going to re-raise here, 3-bet it to 350,000.
Eric goes out, as does Paul. Back on the man with the hand.
Like a dream come true. You're up against a chip leader. You've got aces, and he has 3-bet you. Pinch me. Is it really happening?
Fantastic, and there comes a big re-raise. Close to 1.4 million total in chips.
Yep, it's about $1 million re-raise here, and as you can see, Joe wisely thinking this one out as he takes a gulp of water there.
Well, it's smart for
How much is that?
Kai not to play this slow. You got a guy that has position on you. Make him pay for it if he wants to stick around at this point. Because you're first to act throughout the hand.
Call that.
Well, Joe Nguyen, we've seen, likes to play a lot of hands, calls a lot of bets. Will he call this one? Or worse yet, would he raise?
And he's just thinking to himself, I just wish I would have just called it. See if I could flop a set. Now, big trouble. I don't want to invest too much.
Well, normally, Joe Nguyen acts pretty fast. Good thing he thought that one out. He got away from it. Nice lay down by Joe. Chang takes down the pot with the 2 aces, but he was really hoping that Joe would pull the trigger there.
Made me lay down a pair. The biggest pair in the deck.
Vince, it's crunch time for Eric Seidel. He just cannot wait any longer. I predict it's all going in this hand or the next hand. That's my prediction. If he's got any kind of hand at all. And he's only got 7 big blinds left. That's why I say he's got to make a move.
Great thinking, Captain Obvious. Let's see what he does with it. Joe's folding now. Eric. Oh, there you go, Mike. You are correct, sir.
He picked up the ace high. He's happy to get it, I can assure you.
Now, Paul has gone out, but Chang has a queen 9 of spades.
Yeah, Vince, I think you have to call Eric Seidel for this amount of money. Even if you lose the pot, you're going to have over $6 million in chips. So
you're correct. He's done it. He's given Eric the action.
Eric, about $1.50 favorite the way the cards lie to win this pot.
Luck to me.
He must win it to stay alive. Otherwise, the Poker Hall of Famer will be our 4th place finisher. Everybody on their feet here at the Bay 101. Most of them would like to say goodbye to this Hall of Famer.
5 important cards coming up. And here are the first 3.
6-3-3. Eric still out in front with the ace high. 1 spade on the flop. Kai must catch a queen or a 9 or 2 running spades to win the pot.
Eric Seidel loves that flop. Here we go with 4th straight.
A deuce comes off, so we are down to the river. If Eric Seidel can dodge a queen or a 9, he'll double up and get back in this thing.
Oh, this would be an ugly beat for Seidel. Here comes the suck-out card.
It's a 5, so there you go. The Hall of Famer lives on. Eric finally saying, thank you. Finally, I want a pot here. Certainly can't blame Kai for calling him over the queen 9 of spade. You have to do it with his chip count.
Nice hand, Eric.
Thank you.
And the crowd lets out a little bit of a moan, Vince. Everybody here would have liked to seen Eric hit the road, head back to Vegas in 4th place, believe me. You don't want a Hall of Famer sticking around, getting a hold of some chips.
With that hand, we end our 2nd hour of coverage from the WPT Bay 101 Shooting Star. But before we go, Mike, who do you think has what it takes to take the title?
The chip leader right now is the amateur Joe Nguyen, the guy who's a utility man, works for a phone company, got in this tournament by winning a $500 satellite, playing fantastic so far. Everything's going his way. I'm pulling for him to take this thing down.
And Vince, did you expect to see so many big pots and the action move so quickly? Because I certainly did not.
No, of course not, Kimberly. This is lightning speed. They are playing really fast. They are just bullying each other. They are bluffing. They are pushing it all in. Very impressive. This has the making of a great one.
Thanks, guys. Please join us next time when we'll crown a champion at the WPT Bay 101 Shooting Star. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Tonight in Northern California, players are taking aim at big money and a coveted spot on the WPT Champions Cup. The conclusion of the multi-million-dollar Bay 101 Shooting Star starts right now, only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly Lansing, and welcome back to San Jose, California, where 4 players are still in the hunt to become a new member of the WPT Champions Club at the Bay 101 Shooting Star. But before play starts back up, let's speak with my esteemed colleagues, Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten. Mike, you initially picked Seidel to win, and now he finds himself on the short stack. Do you think he's the next to go?
Well, I'm not sure if he's the next guy to go, but just doesn't have time to wait. Playing 10,000 ante, 40 and 80 blinds, so he's got to get it in there quick and just hope to get lucky to double up.
And you know, Joe Nguyen told us that he wanted to prove he could sit and play with the best. Is he doing that here tonight?
Of course he has. This guy can really play. He has poise at the table. He is taking it to him. You know, he's got the crowd behind him. It's very exciting to see.
Do you believe in miracles?
I do. I think
Okay,
he can
do it.
All right, thanks, guys. Which of these players will be the next to have their name permanently added to the WPT Champions Cup? Action is about to get underway, so let's get down to the table.
Okay, quite the turn of events at this final table, as you can see in the WPT stack tracker. Paul Volpe and Eric Seidel came in as the 2 chip leaders, and all night they have been on a steady decline. And they are both now sitting at the bottom with under 2 million in chips.
That's right, Vince. It's the 2 amateurs, Kai and Joe, who have taken over. Kai started as a short stack, and he's now sitting with nearly 6 million in chips. And Joe Nguyen is just running away with this final table. He's got more chips than the rest of the table combined, with well over 10 million. I'm looking forward to see how this plays out.
All right, blinds of 40 and 80,000 with a $10,000 ante. Action on Paul Volpe. He has 10-9 offsuit. He's going to fold.
Over to Kai Chang. He's a businessman, but also a top-notch poker player. This is 5th WPT cash.
Well, he's raised to 175. Joe out, and look at this. Eric Seidel has pulled the trigger. He's gone all in.
Well, he's the short stack here, going to try to make it happen right now.
Mill?
Well, Kai Chang has one of those borderline hands, what to do, what not to do. Certainly you want to get rid of Eric Seidel, but on the other hand, you don't want to double him up here. Well, he throws out his bounty necklace.
Yes.
We know about those, Vince. We threw ours in the pot. Our opponents took them. We signed their shirts. Eric Seidel smiling, looks confident, poised. And Kai is going to lay it down, just doesn't want to take that kind of a medium, moderate weak hand and take a chance on doubling up Eric Seidel.
Am I supposed to call? I might double him up. I guess I should have called.
Yeah, that would have been a nice call. He'd have been out in front.
Well, there you see the prize money, what they're playing for. Over 1.1 million to the winner, plus getting your name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup, as well as an entry into the season-ending WPT World Championship. A lot on the line for all these guys.
Kai is going to quickly fold. Joe now not going to play as well. Eric
Well, Eric, of course, trying to get his name on that cup for the second time.
He's got Jack 10 this time. Will he try to steal this pot? Yes, he's going to put it in there. All in again.
With the Jack 10.
He's on a rampage, but behind him, Volpe looks down at an ace-4 diamonds.
All right, I call.
And he's going to make the call.
Well, nice call by Paul Volpe right here. He's out in front with the ace high.
Good luck, buddy.
Paul's got the ace-4.
Well, as you can see next to Eric's name is the stack indicator. And you see right now he's on the short stack and going to be out of here if he loses this pot.
Wow, Paul Volpe with a solid call here.
Thank you.
Paul finished second in our last WPT event, the LA Poker Classic, trying to improve upon that number tonight. Would love nothing more right now than to get rid of the Hall of Famer, Eric Seidel.
Come on, Eric. Jack on the flop.
Eric, the Hall of Famer, hoping against hope. This won't be his last hand. Here we go.
Jack right in the door, but 2 diamonds on the flop. Eric Seidel has flopped 3 jacks, but he's up against a flush draw. Never easy.
Oh, boy, dramatic flop right there.
He flopped 3 jacks, yet he's in trouble.
Here we go. Let's turn this. I can't look.
Paul looking for a diamond. That's not the 10 of diamonds. King of diamonds on the turn. Paul Volpe has made a flush. Eric Seidel must improve his hand to stay alive in this tournament. Needs to make a full house or 4 jacks to win this pot. Must have help. Needs a king, jack, 10, or a 7.
Oh, boy, Seidel. Now the dog.
It's an 8 of hearts.
Oh!
Wow. What about that, man? The Hall of Famer hadn't caught anything all night. He finally flopped 3 jacks, and he loses to a flush.
Horrible. You're so excited for a moment. But look at him. He's always poised. He's a great, great champion. We love to see him at final tables.
And Vince, look what's happening now. Eric Seidel signing the T-shirt.
Yeah, this is one of those annoying moments when you just want to slink away after that abuse, but you got to sign your autograph on a lousy T-shirt.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
All right.
You played awesome.
How come I didn't get paid cash like that?
Yeah, that's one.
Paul Volpe collecting another bounty.
Good news.
Nice round of applause for the Hall of Famer.
There's never been a bounty that ever took the Bay 101. Eric, a gracious loser at this point, going to take home $295,000, and he's going over to talk to Matt Savage. Let's see what he has to say.
Well, you didn't achieve your goal of getting your name back on the Champions Cup, but tell us a little bit about your experience tonight.
Oh, it was fun. It was a great atmosphere. These guys are awesome over here.
All right.
I wish I had done a little better, but you can't win every time you play, so what do you do?
Give us your thought on Joe's play tonight. He's come out pretty much firing into the pot every time.
Joe is a monster, you know. I think the home court advantage is doing him well.
You're a great champion. Kimberly, back to you.
So shooting star and WPT champion, not to mention one of the nicest guys in all of poker, Eric Seidel, is out in 4th place. Our 3rd hour of coverage from the WPT Bay 101 Shooting Star is underway. And before we crown a champion, hear what Tony Dunst has to say in The Raw Deal. See who took down the Silicon Valley Poker Challenge and get to know a young bounty a little better in Ones to Watch. We have a lot in store, so stay tuned.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
This week here at San Jose has been great. We got to go to a charity event, hang out at the Royal Flush Girl Bar, we got to play laser tag, and the fans here are just amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love San Jose's energy. Bay 101 fans are just hardcore. And of course, the 50 top bounties poker pros that's always here every year.
I'm looking forward to coming back next year and being able to see these familiar faces.
Here in San Jose, it's been a great week.
Well, players love it here at the Bay 101. No doubt about it. But I'll tell you who else loves it, Vince. It's people that get to be VIP members on ClubWPT.com because they have an opportunity to come and play in a WPT event.
That is right, and also get to sit with preferential treatment at the Royal Flush Girl Social Bar. Now getting back to this hand right now, Joe Nguyen's going to quickly raise with ace-6 of diamonds. It's going up to 175 to go. Paul out. And now Kai Chang with a king-jack offsuit is making the call. Here we go with the flop.
Well, flop is queen, queen, 8, 2 clubs. No help to either player.
Kai's going to check. And Joe, the telephone man, going to check as well behind him.
And now the 4 clubs comes off.
Wow, 3 clubs out there.
And notice Kai looked down at his hand. And that's a tell that the guy's looking to see if he had a club in his hand. And he does. But it doesn't stop Joe Nguyen from betting.
Yep, 225,000 with just ace high. But Kai has seen that he does have a pretty good club up there, and he's going to make this call. We'll go into the river. And the river is a 4, pairs the board again.
So Joe out in front, 2 pair with ace kicker against 2 pair with king kicker.
Kai is checking again. Joe's going to bet.
Yeah, Joe going to bet 325,000 here.
And he'd like to get paid off with the guy with just king high. Wow, but Kai has different thoughts. He's going to raise this.
Wow. He's bet it up to 825,000. Now, do you want to just call with 2 pair in the ace kicker here? Do you really think the guy's got a full house? Wow, he is re-raising. I don't understand this.
Pretty aggressive.
A testosterone contest.
Amazing. Joe is going to re-raise. Says, I don't think you have much. And now Kai with just the king high. What is he going to do? Oh, man. No, say it ain't so.
2.3 million he's betting here.
Over the top, he's just saying, I think you have nothing. Here you go.
Wow.
Just incredible poker we're watching here.
Well, I mean, it's just very difficult to call here without a queen in your hand.
It's impossible.
I mean, Joe virtually shut himself out of this spot when he raised last time. He should have just called when the guy bet 800,000 with the ace high.
Perfect read by Kai Chang, and he's going to show it. And it doesn't get any better than this.
What a play by Kai Chang right there.
Amazing.
That is playing some poker.
Well, that's the play of the week.
Wow.
No doubt about it. He has just bluffed the steam right out of this room. Kai Chang with a super bluff right there.
It's pretty gross. Sick. Thanks, dude.
Young poker pro Jason Somerville was a first-time bounty this season, and he has definitely proven himself on the felt. But it's also the balance he possesses off the felt that has vaulted him into the forefront of the poker world in this edition of Ones to Watch.
Jason Somerville is one of the people that I respect most in poker.
I don't think you'll meet anyone on the tour whoever says a bad thing about him.
Jason Somerville, I think I played with him at the 5 Diamond.
Jason Somerville is one of my heroes in poker.
Is he from Alabama? He's really calm, cool, and collected, and he comes off really a lot more humble, I would say, than a lot of these players. Wrong guy. Wrong Jason. Don't know. Who is he? Who is that guy?
I'm Jason Somerville, and I'm from Stony Brook, New York.
He's one of the best thinkers in poker. He's also taught so many people. A lot of people go to him for advice.
I've coached many people before, and I have many students that have done very well in poker and have taken down major titles. I wouldn't be here without my mentors. I think it's the right thing to do to pass it forward. I think poker is a big part of my definition. I wouldn't say that it completely defines me. I'm a huge video gamer. I'm a big UFC fan, and coming out to the poker world has been amazing. I've been in a relationship now with my boyfriend. His name is Vincent. He's supportive and just always there, and it's awesome. Having someone that doesn't play poker, especially that's like kind of outside of the grind that you can talk to and they'll understands what's going on, but doesn't really care about hands. You know, so it's a nice combination.
Yeah, I feel like the weight's off his shoulders, man.
Since he came out, he's even more outgoing, more entertaining, and he's comfortable.
Has to help his mental clarity, help him play a better game every day.
I'm now able to be who I really am outside of the poker world. People have said what I did was good for other people and what I did was good for my game, but the reason that I came out was because it was what was best for me.
Although Jason didn't make the final table this evening, he did have a good showing as he placed 42nd in this event and cashed for over $19,000, extending his lead in the Season 11 Ones to Watch standings. To learn more about Jason and the rest of the Ones to Watch, check out their profiles on WPT.com. Back to you, Mike and Vince.
Well, Jason loves playing poker as much as anybody I know, and certainly he's well-liked out here on the tour.
He certainly is. He plays a whole bunch of tournaments. We've seen him on the World Poker Tour final table before. I'm sure he'll be a champion before long. But now let's get back to this one. Joe Nguyen now first to act.
Well, he's still stunned about that last pot. Probably stunned the way he played it instead of just calling the guy where he'd have won the pot.
Right.
He raised him and got re-raised out of the pot.
Well, these guys are playing the player and not the cards necessarily. And this time Joe has raised with ace-deuce, Paul out. And Kai Chang, who has to be feeling pretty good after that amazing play, has a 10-7 and will make this call.
Vince's reads have been spot on all day long. Timing is perfect. Kai Chang really playing well.
Well, look at this flop. Jack, 7, deuce. Chang with the 7s has outflopped Joe, who picks up a piece of that, a pair of deuces. Kai's gonna check.
Well, Joe's gonna bet bottom pair here.
Yeah, 170 to go.
And Kai is going to find out where he's at here. He's getting out raising chips. 400,000. I like this play. Find out where you're at right here, right now. If the guy comes back over the top of you here, just give up middle pair and move on to the next hand. But at least you're not guessing all the way the rest of the hand if he's got it or not.
Joe's called this.
Now a diamond comes off. That'll scare both players because neither have a diamond in their hand.
You would think, but Kai grabs a handful of those yellows. Oh, he's gonna stack them out there.
800,000 he's betting. And now if you're sitting in Joe's seat, if you thought your deuces were good because your opponent had a flush draw, well, he's made the flush. So virtually there's nothing you can beat here but the stone cold bluff. But you just saw him do that the last hand to run you out of the pot. But Joe wisely gives it up here. Kai takes down yet another pot. So Kai Chang on a nice little heater right now. He's making some moves. He's catching some cards. That's a tough combination to beat, Vince.
The deepest I've gone in a WPT event was 7. I learned a lot from Phil Ivey's demeanor, Phil Hellmuth's style of play. Nomley is one of the greatest players that I've seen live. They all truly appreciate the art of poker. If you play cautious to try to move up, it's very destructive to your game. You still have to keep playing poker, and that's what I plan to do. I was beyond disappointed for missing the final table. My goal today is to win.
I'm Danielle, one of the Royal Flush Girls. Stay tuned for more action from Bay 101.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Welcome back to our extended coverage of the WPT Bay 101 Shooting Star. Tony Dunst has been keeping close watch of the action we've seen tonight, and he is ready in Command Central to give us his detailed analysis in the raw deal.
Easily my favorite part of this final table has been the ongoing street poker battle between Kai Chang and Joe Nguyen. These are two guys that feel that poker is a game about raising, calling, and folding. The result has been a series of contested pots, often with one or both players going to the flop with a weak and sometimes downright garbage holding. So which of these two gunslingers will get the last shot in when they both make a stand? Let's break it down. After a hot start at the final table for Kai Chang, it's Joe Nguyen that's pulled ahead in the chip count. However, Kai is still well ahead of Paul Volpe in third, so there's a strong disincentive to play a major pot against Joe. But Kai is not the kind of man that concerns himself with disincentives, especially when he gets a sense that his opponent is full of it. The hand begins in earnest, with Joe raising the button with ace-6 suited, and Kai making the call from the big blind with king-jack. On the queen-queen-8 flop, both players check, and thus far it's nothing to see here. When the turn brings a third club and Kai checks his hand, I'm surprised he didn't bet out with his draw. It's possible he thinks the 4 is so irrelevant that king high is the best hand, and he checks in hopes of getting Joe to bet as a bluff. Or perhaps Kai decided to check call the turn to maintain the image of a slow play because he had the intention of getting creative on the river. I can't say for sure, but when the river brings the 4 of hearts and puts 2 pair on the board, creativity transforms to insanity, and everyone promptly loses their mind. We start with a check from Kai and a small bet from Joe. Then Kai bluff check raises to 825,000, which Joe finds difficult to believe because it means Kai is representing a queen and had to have checked it on 3 streets, and after figuring this out, Joe min re-raises to 1,325,000, believing he can more authentically represent queen full or the rare quads. Then, Kai also decides that queens full and quads are hard hands to have, and adds another million on top of his bet.
Wow, a testosterone contest.
I mean, at the point we reached king high versus ace high river 4 bet, I started wondering who was going to be the first to drop the pretensions, stand up, and whip it out.
Pretty close.
Clearly, the pantsless member at the table was Kai. Not only does he win the hand, but after Joe folds, he immediately turns his bluff face up. Wow. And maintains his stone-cold expression. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to be unconcerned with disincentives.
Thanks, dude.
I think there was too many bets going on, too. But it just shows you they're fighting for pots. You may agree or disagree with their play, but I'll tell you, you have to admire their willingness to try to win the pot.
Joe Nguyen with 9 million. Kai Chang 8-4. Volpe almost disappearing before our very eyes, about 1.7. All right, the antes are now 15,000. The blinds are going to be 50 and 100,000. Action is on. Kai.
He looks down at the ace-8 of hearts. Certainly going to raise with that on the button.
Yeah, makes it 225 to go. Behind him, Joe with a king-10 of diamonds, making the call. Volpe going out.
Well, the same 2 chip leaders going at it yet again. Flop is jack, jack, jack.
Pretty amazing.
Well, Joe is checked.
3 of a kind on the flop again tonight. We saw 3 queens earlier. Neither player has a piece of that, of course.
That was ugly.
Kai has bet 425,000.
Continuation bet.
Joe is not a believer. He makes the call with the king high. Kai looks a little concerned over that. Now a 3 comes off.
Kai will slow down. He checks it.
Well, it goes check, check here. So we're going to the river. Now a jack comes off. Now Kai has the best hand possible. Quads with an ace kicker. But for some reason, Joe is leading out and betting 100,000 here.
Yeah, just one of those $100,000 bets we saw before tonight.
But I don't know why you would bet this. Why not just check and let your opponent bluff at the pot if he's got nothing? If he's got ace high, you can't beat him.
And look at this. Kai has raised it.
I call.
Well, he raised it $500,000, just enough so the guy might call him with king high. And that's exactly the case.
Yeah, Joe makes a bad call there.
Kai Chang taking down that pot. Right now he is marching like the Ohio State Marching Band with great precision.
Mike, let's take a moment and talk about our sponsor.
Well, Vince, as you know, ClubWPT.com is a great place to play and learn how to play poker online. Plus, you get your chance to possibly win your share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month.
You get so many things. You get to play all the cash games. You get the Savers Guide, where you can save on restaurants and hotels across the country. You also get to look at all the archives of all the great episodes of the World Poker Tour. You also get a subscription to WPT Magazine, which is always great to look at, too.
And don't forget, Vince, ClubWPT.com just got a new facelift. It's got new graphics. It's also got a Facebook Connect to it, meaning it's easier for you to play with your friends. And most importantly, ClubWPT.com is now available on Mac. That means no downloads, no installs, just click and play.
Sign up today. Become a VIP member. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed. Let's go back down to the table.
Kai Chang getting all the best of it right now. He's got close to 11 million. Things are going his way. He's a businessman from Albany, California. That's pretty close to this area.
He's quite the poker player, though. This is 5th WPT cash. He actually bubbled in 7th place the LA Poker Classic a few years back. He's still haunted about that.
All in. 1.5.
Getting back to this hand, Paul Volpe has gone all in with a queen, 10 of hearts.
I call.
He's gonna be called by Kai Chang. Kai's got a beat right now with an ace nine of clubs.
Well, everybody on their feet. And Paul Volpe wants to improve on last week's second place finish. He's gonna have to get lucky and win this pot. Otherwise, he'll be our third place finisher tonight. Still pretty good stuff. Second and third in back-to-back weeks on the WPT, but right now, Paul not looking for third, hoping to get lucky here.
And the flop comes up king, king, 7, so no luck there for Paul Volpe. The online professional came in as the chip leader, and now he's struggling. Here's the turn, 6 of diamonds. Volpe in a heap of trouble at this point.
Yep, must catch a queen or a 10 to stay alive in this tournament. Otherwise, Kai Chang, the man who's competed in Ironman competitions, will add another trophy here, perhaps. It's a 3. Wow, Paul Volpe out in third place. That's astonishing that the two guys that started in 5th and 6th place are now playing for this title.
Made it in final 2. What the hell?
These are the last two guys you would have figured would have played heads up for this title. But that's poker for you. And it just shows you anybody can do it on a given day.
Oh, Paul Volpe, considered one of the best online players in the world. Back-to-back tournaments at the World Poker Tour final tables. Pretty impressive. Gonna take home $435,000, and he's over to talk to Matt Savage.
You took over the Player of the Year race, over $400,000, and Eric Seidel's bounty. But why do I get the feeling this is not enough for you?
Came in, I had 2 shots back-to-back weeks, coming in as chip leader, and couldn't finish. I'm actually not super upset, but I mean, I kind of am. You know, it's bittersweet again, so.
Well, a couple local players here. I mean, did the crowd get to you at all?
Nah, not really. Brought excitement. It doesn't bother me much.
All right, well, Paul, see if you can continue your run on Player of the Year.
Gonna keep trying. All right. Thanks.
As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money!
And out come the beautiful Royal Flush girls. Brittany and Jeannie slapping down the cold hard cash. And Danielle and Ivy.
Well, that's what you're dreaming about as a poker player. The opportunity to get your name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup. Playing heads up for a WPT title, playing for all that money, and win an entry into the season-ending WPT World Championship. Perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right here for these guys.
Heads Up Play is about to get started between Joe Nguyen and Kai Chang. We'll be right back from the WPT Bay 101 Shooting Star. It's come down to Joe Nguyen and Kai Chang to battle for a place on the WPT Champions Cup. During the break, Matt Savage spoke with both players.
Came in here short stacked. How'd you do this?
I try not to worry about the amount of money in hand, and I just try to play poker without thinking of placement and try to win. So.
Are you worried about it now? $1.1 million for first, and that seat to the championship.
Not when I have a 2-to-1 chip lead, and I feel like I'm playing pretty well.
What does it mean to you to have the best fans in the world in your corner?
This is the best, the greatest. I got my friends and family here, and what other way is, you know, to win it today in front of them? I mean, it'll be great.
Stakes are high tonight as only one of these players will take home the over $1.1 million first place prize and have their name added to the WPT Champions Cup. So let's get back to the call of the game with Mike and Vince.
Kai Chang starting out with about a 2-to-1 chip lead over Joe Nguyen. What a great story it is for both of these guys to be fighting it out for this title. Who would have thought it, Vince?
Pretty incredible. You think about all the great names, the bounties, they're out. It's these two right now. Kai Chang with a pair of 3s.
Sorry about that.
And he is going to move it up to $275,000 to go. Joe's going to call, slop around with a 6 deuce of clubs.
Well, as we've said all night long, these guys have come to play, no doubt about it. On has come Jack 7-5 with 2 clubs. Joe's flopped a flush draw. Action's on him, he checks. Kai with the 2 3s is going to make the continuation bet. $325,000.
Now will Joe get aggressive with it? No, he's saying, I just call.
I would have raised with the flush draw there had it been me. But Joe opted to call, and here comes the club. After not raising with the flush draw, he's going to lead out and bet in this situation. Now, he's hoping his opponent's got something like ace-jack and may give him a call here, but that's not the case. Kai gets rid of the 2 threes. So Joe Nguyen taking down that pot. Joe's hobbies are playing poker and drag racing.
Yep, he's 35 years old, lives in Sunnyvale, California, right around here. There's the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar. And if you belong to Club WPT, and if you're a VIP member, you get preferential seating there. You can sit there and talk to the girls. They're at every WPT event, along with Kimberly Lansing, Mike Sexton, and myself.
This week, on behalf of the WPT Foundation, we saw Tech Titans and Poker Pros go head-to-head in the 3rd annual Silicon Valley Poker Challenge. WPT's Royal Flush Girls, along with Mike, Vince, and Tony, teamed up with the Silicon Valley Executive Network to raise money for the Computer History Museum. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Brittany, one of the Royal Flush Girls, and we're here on behalf of the WPT Foundation for an awesome poker charity event that's going to benefit the Computer History Museum. Let's go check it out. Great meeting you. I'm Brittany.
Nice to meet you. Hi, welcome to the museum. I'm John Holler. I'm the president and CEO of the Computer History Museum. We have the largest collection of computers in the world, from the abacus to the smartphones. The mission of the museum is to tell the story of computing and its impact on society. One song on your phone today, this would hold about half of that song. Oh my goodness. So to have an event like the World Poker Tour here today and have it benefit the museum is really important to us.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Really appreciate it.
Come back again?
Thank
I
you.
do. All right, thanks.
Brian Renard, I'm the CEO and founder of Silicon Valley Executive Network, and this is the 3rd year we're doing the Silicon Valley Poker Challenge, where we bring the elite of the high-tech ecosystem together with the poker pros for charity.
This is just a fabulous venue. We are honored to be here.
Dealers, it's about time to shovel up and deal. Thank you again.
Oh my God.
No way!
What is that?
Oh, man. One of the really neat things about this event is the caliber of the folks that really come out to support.
We're playing poker. What's going to be better?
Kentucky's going to win again this year. I still don't think the pros have a chance.
Whoa! How does this happen?
These guys are a little scary, but they're being nice to me, so we're doing well.
Hey, my Sexton! My Sexton, I did a rebuy. I did 2 rebuys. We got the pros rebuying left and right, and definitely squeezing us out a bit.
Pros everywhere, literally, literally everywhere.
Well, we certainly want to congratulate the Silicon Valley Six. These are the final 6 players. They outlasted many of the top pros in the world. Good luck in fighting it out for the title. Right in the door, but the Ducks are wild, folks. Let's hear it for Shashir, our champion.
Well, there you have it. The Tech Titans took it down once again. But most importantly, everyone had a great time. And thanks to the generosity of the players and a donation from the WPT Foundation, we raised a ton of money for the Computer History Museum. To find out more about this organization and the many causes WPT supports, log on to WPTFoundation.org. The WPT Foundation, playing for a better world. In the meantime, cards are back in the air, so let's get down to Mike and Vince.
Such a great time for the 3rd year in a row. It's always great working with the Silicon Valley Executive Network. They are the business engine and social network for the leaders of the high-tech ecosystem.
That's right. Certainly was a good time. Now let's get back down to the table. Action on Kai Chang. He has a 10-7. And he's just going to call it. But Joe sees a spot. He's going to raise with Jack-10 of spades. Makes it 300,000 to go. Kai's going to call it.
Well, Kai says one of his favorite players is WPT champ Nam Lee. He looks a little bit like him, and his demeanor is exactly like him. Calm, cool, and collected.
Well, flop comes up 9-9-5. They both check. Deuce of hearts on the turn.
Well, Joe's going to bet 300,000. Incredibly, Kai calls. Now, he's not calling because he thinks he has the best hand. He's calling to set up a play on the river where he can bet and win this pot. Deuce of clubs comes off, so 3 clubs out there and 2 pair out there.
700,000.
Not gonna help Joe, but he doesn't care. He says 700,000.
This would probably be the best place to win a title, just to have the fans, the family, the crowd here at home. It'll mean everything. I'm gonna just put in my best effort, my best game, and see if we can do it.
Well, we've seen Kai bluff him out before by making moves on the river. Doesn't do it this time, gives it up. That's Joe Nguyen trying to do something here tonight that only 4 players in WPT history have done. Come from 6th place, last place at the final table to win the title. Can he do it? You can't win anything on social poker sites, so people play any 2 cards. And that's not real poker. On ClubWPT.com, we play real poker because we're competing for our share of $100,000 in real cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to Bay 101 Casino and the World Poker Tour.
Joe Nguyen closing the gap on chip leader Kai Chang. And I just can't get over how great it is that an amateur utility man for a phone company has a shot to win this event and over $1.1 million life-changing money for this guy and his family.
All right, let's go to the play. Joe Nguyen with a queen 8, just gonna call. Kai Chang with an ace 4, gonna move it up to 300,000 to go. And Joe with a quick call.
Okay, so here comes the flop. It's 10-6-3 with 2 spades. No help to either player.
Kai first to act, gonna stick out a bet of 400,000.
Joe making the call here. No hand, no draw, except backdoor draws. It's what we call a float bet, meaning he's calling to take the pot away from his opponent later on to see if it can happen.
6 of diamonds hits. Kai's gonna check.
Well, and here it comes. Joe doing exactly that, betting to take the pot away from his opponent after making the float call on the flop, but not working here against this guy.
Whoa, 600,000 has been called.
What a read. 9 of clubs comes off.
No one hits a pair.
So again, neither player has anything.
Kai's gonna check again.
700,000.
Gee, Joe is stubborn. He's gonna stick out another bluff bet.
Vince, I don't think we've ever had anybody bet as fast as this guy does on the World Poker Tour. I mean, you couldn't even start a shot clock before he's got his money out there. Forget about using one. Love it.
No, I'm impressed with it too, how fast he plays.
Well, I'm impressed Kai's going possibly with his instincts here.
We got it.
Wow, he made this call. That is really impressive stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful call.
Folks, you can certainly see that this guy would deserve to be a WPT champion if he wins this event. No doubt about it. Kai Chang making a great call right there.
More irritating, too, when you try to bluff and the guy calls you with ace high. It's pretty aggravating. You just feel like you've been outplayed.
Vince, he just tried to look like he was strong.
Yeah,
that's a
called
sign of weakness. Kai picked him off like an apple on a tree. It's just that simple. Sometimes it happens.
It's time to take a quick look at the Season 11 WPT Player of the Year standings. Tonight's champion will earn 1,400 points for their victory, but it's the 3rd place finisher, Paul Volpe, who has jumped into the point lead with 2,350 points. This is certainly becoming an exciting race, and we'll be keeping an eye on the standings all season long, but now it's time to get back to the call of the action with Mike and Vince.
Well, Mike, what a race. Now, they're the Joe Sirach and Jeff Madsen, 2 great poker players. And Joe Sirach, WPT Player of the Year last season.
Yeah, we just saw Jeff make the final table on the World Poker Tour just a short while back. He didn't make it this time, but those guys are here sweating the action at the Bay 101.
Back to this action, Kai Chang now with a king, 4 of spades. Will raise, 225 to go. Joe with a 9-7.
Well, he is making the call.
They don't fold hands. They fight for every pot. And here we go.
Now flop comes Queen, Jack 10, 2 hearts. Both players have an open-end straight draw.
Yeah, no pairing, but possibilities here. And the marathon man, Kai Chang's going to bet. Continuation bet, 300,000. Joe's called it. What drama we are seeing. Who will get lucky here?
Well, the 7 of hearts comes off. So as the cards lie, that's a great card for Joe. He's got a flush draw and the best hand with 2 sevens.
Yeah, he caught a pair. They both check. Down to the river we go.
Goes check, check. And now the deuce of hearts comes off. 4 hearts on the board. Joe has the flush with the 9 of hearts. Well, Joe has checked. I love this check by Joe. Give your opponent a chance to bluff at this pot.
Yeah, Kai is betting.
Call.
And the snap call by Joe, and he's going to win this pot.
Good call.
With the flush, and his fans are loving it. The wife here, the brothers are here. He's got 3 brothers in the house rooting him on. John, Man, and Lang. A lot of friends are here.
We're playing some garbage hand. Let's do it. Every hand.
So nicely done by Joe, the local. Kai Chang still the chip leader with close to 12 million. But Joe's coming back. Blinds are 50 and 100. Action on Joe.
And he's got the 10 deuce of diamonds. It's the Doyle Brunson hand, the 10 deuce suited. Doyle won back-to-back world championships in 1976 and 77 with the 10 deuce in his hand. Doyle's still the oldest player to ever win an event out here in the World Poker Tour.
And Joe has raised this to 250. He's been called, and here's the flop, 10-7-5. That gives Joe a pair of 10s, and it gives Kai an open-ended straight draw.
He's going to check, and again, the snap bet by Joe Nguyen. I mean, it's the fastest better we've ever had in the history of the tour. Make no mistake about it, folks.
It's like he's playing for 5 cents and 10 cents. That's what it's like.
No time to think.
That.
It's just like it doesn't care about the chips. What is the
He's
values
got
are.
top pair. Certainly can't blame him for betting here. Can't blame Kai for calling with the open-end straight draw either. That's what he's done.
So we're going to the turn. This could get dramatic.
Well, the 9 of diamonds comes
Oh,
off.
man.
This gives Kai a straight, but notice that Joe has top pair and a flush draw. Folks, we could see more fireworks here than on the 4th of July.
Kai's going to try to trap here. He's checked it. And Joe's going to swing away. 530.
Can't blame Joe for betting this hand, but obviously, at least I think obviously, Kai is going to raise it.
Well, you don't want your player to outdraw you. That's why you put in a strong raise, and that's, well, yep, he's getting the big chips out to make a strong raise, protect his hand. Oh, boy, he goes to about 2.5 million.
Yeah, it's like the telephone man's wires just got spliced there, Vince.
And now Joe has got a problem.
Well, he's got about 7 million in chips, but it cost him 2 million to call this bet alone.
I'm all in.
I call.
And he's going to go all in, and he's going to get the quick call by Kai.
Well, this is it right here. Joe must catch a diamond to win this pot to stay alive in this tournament. Otherwise, Kai Chang will become a WPT champion. Everybody on their feet here at the Bay 101, holding their breath, waiting for the river card.
It is coming down to the river. One more card. Can Kai do it? Will Joe Nguyen hit his diamond? Here it is.
Well, it's a 6. Kai Chang is going to be our champion.
It is over.
Congratulations, bro.
No flush for Joe. Kai Chang has done it.
Well, Vince, the 2 guys that started in 5th, 6th chip position battled their way heads up for this title. Kai Chang coming out on top, and I must say, he deserves this title.
Joe Nguyen, the telephone man, is the runner-up. And right now, Joe is over to talk to Matt Savage.
Joe, you came in tonight as a short stack, but you turned it into over $660,000. How do you feel right now?
Feel real good, man. I'm on sky high right now. I wish I could have won the whole thing, but still a winner in my book. The pros better watch out and recognize the name because I'll be back.
Congratulations, Joe. Mike, over to you and the winner.
Thank you.
Well, here's the winner of the Season 11 Bay 101 Shooting Star Tournament, Kai Chang. Kai. Congratulations to you. You got off to a good start here. Did you have a game plan coming into this final table?
I wanted to play the same and play aggressive and pick my spots. And turns out I was picking them all the time.
Tell us now what it feels like to win over $1 million and become a WPT champion.
It feels fantastic. It's unreal. I'm super excited.
Well, in addition to your $1.1 million that you're going to take home, you get a $25,000 entry to the WPT World Championship, and more importantly, you're going to get your name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup with all the great champions.
Thank you very much.
Kimberly, back to you.
Congratulations to Kai Chang, the season 11 WPT Bay 101 Shooting Star champion. Join us next time as the WPT travels to Italy for the Venice Grand Prix, and I cannot wait for that one. Until then, from Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Tonight in Venice, Italy, the oldest casino in the world plays host to a truly historic event in more ways than one. The WPT Venice Grand Prix starts now, only on the World Poker Tour.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the drain. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
Buonasera, I am Kimberly Lansing, and welcome to the World Poker Tour, where we have returned to the beautiful Casino di Venezia. Venice, Italy is known for its traditional sounds, whether it's classical music and operas or gondoliers singing along the canals. But for the past 5 days, the city was filled with a symphony of cards shuffling and chips riffling as an international mix of players hit the felt with the goal of making poker history and etching their name on the WPT Champions Cup. The journey to poker greatness, Italian style, began on day 1A. Friends, Romans, and WPT champions.
WPT Venice is really probably my favorite event, actually, in Europe.
Lend their ears to the sweet sounds of Mike Sexton opening up the action of this year's Venice Grand Prix.
We want to welcome you to Venice, Italy. We want to wish all the players the best of luck in their quest to make it to the final table. Okay, dealers, let's shuffle up and deal.
And that quest had more meaning than most for WPT Grand Prix de Paris champ Matt Salzburg, who'd spent the bulk of the season atop the Player of the Year leaderboard.
Chasing some POI points. Right now I'm like 150 points behind Paul Volpe, who had a really sick month of poker, and so try to catch up.
Making this Venice final table also held special meaning for the popular and determined Kara Scott.
One of my favorite people in the world.
Oh, that's so
I'm pulling for her to get to the final table.
Yay, no bubbling this year.
You can do it. Yes, you bubble. Good luck. Playing right over there, right? I'm at the next table. Still alive. Still alive. All right. They're all tough. Everybody's tough.
With tough players everywhere, fatal confrontations were inevitable, as was the case when WPT champions Guillaume Darcourt and Andrei Patichuk tussled in the early going. The Russian came out on top, sending the pink-haired Parisian packing. But only for the day. With a chance to re-enter on day 1B, a bust-out did not necessarily spell doom.
Yeah, why not?
As players continued to be eliminated, WPT World Champion Mad Marvin Rettenmeyer, who happened to have been given his Mad moniker here in Venice, was on a heater. The German pro took out player after player after player, soaring to the top of the leaderboard.
I got aces 5 times today.
A few tables over, aces did not work out as well for jungleman Dan Cates, who lost to Italian pro Arian Islame's quad nines. And in the final level of the day, Romanian pro Dorian Rauta shoved with top pair and a flush draw, putting recent Bay 101 TV bubble boy Steve Bem to a decision for almost all his chips.
I got a quad call. No choice.
Steve thought he needed a club to survive, but it was an ace on the river that won him the hand and crowned him our day 1A chip leader.
The only way you can beat these guys is by being lucky. God bless the WPT.
A surge of new players traveled far and wide to the Casino di Venezia in hopes of adding their own illustrious spot on the WPT Champions Cup.
Flew in from Istanbul about an hour before the tournament started.
At the last year, the second place is best rested for me, but the last year is magic here for me.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Joining these fresh faces were a number of casualties from Day 1A who claimed new life by re-entering on Day 1B.
I entered the main event yesterday and I re-entered today. I like to play re-entry because when I come to play an event, it's always nice to be able to play a lot of days.
Mike Sexton, in a great mood after finishing off Day 1A in the top 3, joined Vince for a walk around the floor.
Gaten, we're thrilled to see you over here in Venice. A surprise.
Surprise.
We got an Italian cowboy here.
I love it.
Yes. Bravo.
I problem not speaking.
It's okay. Speak Italian. We're in Italy.
Speak Italian.
It's okay.
Io saluto a tutti gli americani.
Sì,
È la mia prima esperienza.
WPT champion. I'm trying to talk Vince into getting hair like you. I mean, can you send him to us, your stylist?
Why not?
Huh? I think so, huh? What do you think?
Might bring me some luck. You're right.
Unfortunately for Guillaume Darcourt, luck was nowhere to be found, and he busted out soon after. But Darcourt's pink hair would not be the most colorful thing we'd set our eyes on that day. In true form, poker's most colorful character made one of his most spectacular arrivals to date. Decked out in his Venetian finest, it was none other than the infamously late Phil Hellmuth, who was happily greeted by the Royal Flush Girls. Regrettably for Phil, his performance on the felt wasn't nearly as spectacular. The poker brat busted out before the end of the day and just had to let everybody know.
Just a weird hand. I mean, you wouldn't see that. I haven't lost a WPT like that in like 5 years.
While the costume wasn't lucky for Phil, it was lucky for Fernando Camiglia, who knocked him out and ended the day with the chip lead.
Benissimo. Okay. All right.
Players were in a cheerful mood as they readied for the long day ahead.
Day 2, si parte. We're starting. Good luck.
Once in their seats, the combined 91 fortunate players to make it on to Day 2 got right down to business, including latecomer Mad Marvin Rettenmeyer, who claimed to have been stuck in traffic. Jungle Man Dan Cates, who started the day on life support, got off to a fast start.
Well, one of the first hands I played, I had aces that tripled up.
Across the room, another short stack from Day 1A was chipping up. WPT Player of the Year contender Matt Salzburg surged from 10,000 to 60,000 chips in what seemed like no time at all.
Just call in a come.
Our own Mike Sexton was more than alive when fellow poker broadcaster Kara Scott joined his table, which included Poker Italia 24 WPT commentator Ariane Islamé, who was having a solid day himself. Also having a fantastic day was French pro Ludovic Laquet, who was seriously accumulating chips. But as the blinds and antes increased, so did the bust-outs. As the tables broke, Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton was moved to a seat next to Day 1A chip leader Steve Bem.
You know what I liked when that Mike Sexton guy came to the table? They all started speaking English.
Make a deal. You can make the final table and make a commentary.
But when I was here for like 6 hours, they're all speaking Italian. I go, oh, thanks a lot.
And Steve later got involved in a massive pot with Italian pro Rocco Palumbo. Steve, with the flop straight, was up against Rocco's top 2 pair. Rocco fired out a quick bet.
Oh, look at it. You're gonna hold.
The Italian pro never improved, nearly crippling him and catapulting our former Day 1A chip leader towards the top of the leaderboard. 36 players would survive to play another day, including all 3 of our poker commentators, as well as WPT champions Marvin Rettenmeyer and Matt Salzburg. But it would be French pro Ludovic Laquet who took the top honors heading into Day 3.
Hopefully we'll do the same. We'll do the same tomorrow and the day after, and that's it.
Competition has been intense, but who will survive to make the money and the World Poker Tour final table? Find out when we return with more coverage from the WPT Venice Grand Prix.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour's extended coverage of the WPT Venice Grand Prix, where the remaining field would fight for the 6 seats at this final table. Take a look.
Back to work.
36 players unbagged their chips for the start of day 3, all knowing that the magic number was blackjack, as only 21 players would make the money at the WPT Venice Grand Prix.
Long day ahead, 6 levels. We'll see how it goes.
Short stack, but we'll see what happens. Try to grind it out a little longer. Let's see if we can get in the money.
After an excellent showing, Club WPT online qualifier Socrates Ioannidis, short on chips, also fell short of the money.
I wish it lasted a little longer.
I know.
C'est la vie, c'est la vie.
The Royal Flush Girls were busy in consoling mode as both Jungleman Dan Cates and British pro Liv Boeri were eliminated as well. Two-time WPT champion Marvin Rettenmeyer then saw his tournament life cut short at the hands of Chinese-born Italian pro Xia Lin.
It was sad. Sad day.
Are you hungry for a pizza tonight?
I would rather had the chips, but I guess I'd take a pizza now as well, yeah.
Competition was intense with the WPT Champions Cup on the line, and Mike Sexton was well on his way, holding aces to eliminate newly minted Season 11 WPT champion Giacomo Fundaro 8 spots from the money. Others would follow, including the chip leaders from Day 1A and 1B, Steve Bem and Fernando Camiglia.
Oh, man.
The true money bubble came when the Italian pirate Max Pescatori pushed all in and was called by Player of the Year contender Matt Salzburg, holding pocket eights. Matt rose from his seat awaiting the flop.
8 of spades. 8 of spades. Ask for the 8 of spades. You received it.
Max Pescatori bubbled, and the remaining 21 were happy knowing they'd be paid.
Yay, we're in the money. This is fun.
With the money bubble broken, the field was still dominated by Italian players. Though 3 would hit the rail before the end of play, the Italians still had the home field advantage and monopolized the top of the leaderboard. Leading the way was Italian pro Arian Islamé, with Kara Scott and Mike Sexton tied in chips and right in the thick of it.
I said I need 2 trays.
Not too bad. Usually you need about this much space.
I usually do this. Just carry them in my hand.
With 4 full days behind them, the 18 remaining players focused their attention on making it through the field and scoring one of 6 prestigious seats at the WPT final table. The action came quick and dirty. Big hands collided when short stacks Ivan Gabriele and Antonino Zito moved all in with aces and kings against the pot-committed Giuseppe Pastura with king 9. The jack of spades on the river gave Giuseppe a miracle straight, sending 2 Italian pros packing and adding to his healthy stack. Alive and strong in his hunt for more WPT Player of the Year points, Season 11 champion Matt Salzburg continued to play the part of the Oracle, this time to the dismay of Lauri Pissonen.
It's coming. Sorry, bro.
Trio spades.
Salzburg finished off the Finnish pro in 15th place.
I did it again.
More big names saw their tournament lives come to an end, including a still smiling Kara Scott.
I'm really happy to have made a deep run, definitely. Arrivederci.
And shortly after having his aces cracked by the ace-king of Marcello Montagnier, French phenom Ludovic Laquet went arrivederci in 12th place. As the field continued to narrow, Mike Sexton's good fortune was on the rise.
10 left, still there. Happy to be here.
First, he eliminated WSOP main event runner-up Martin Stasco, and then Mike mixed it up with his Italian counterpart, Arian Islamé. Arian bet out on a board of 8-6-4 and was raised by Mike, holding 2 pair. Arian, having Sexton covered, moved all in, putting the Poker Hall of Famer to the test for his tournament life.
I wish I hadn't gotten involved in this hand. Don't hurry, see I can throw it away. I'm gonna call.
A 7 of diamonds on the river gave Arian a better 2 pair, but Mike's 4 of diamonds made a flush for the crucial double up. Soon after, Mike's ace-10 overpowered the pocket nines of Georgia Tobin, sending the last woman standing home with 12,000 euros and a solid 9th place finish. Next to fall was Giuseppe Pastura, who bluffed away all his chips, drawing dead against Robbie Ben-Yi and his flopped nut flush. With only one elimination to go, Matt Salzburg was in great shape to make his 4th WPT final table this season. On a board of Queen 3 Deuce 9, Marcello Montagnier shoved all in with a flush and straight draw. Matt, holding middle set, was faced with his biggest decision of the tournament. The king on the river completed Marcello's straight, and although obviously disappointed, the silver lining for Matt was that with his 7th place finish, he would earn 150 WPT Player of the Year points, tying him at the top of the leaderboard with Paul Volpe. The final 6 were now set. Mike Sexton was left to carry the flag for the United States. A tough Chinese national and smart Swiss pro were also well positioned to battle the other 3 players, all of whom are hoping to have the home turf advantage and keep this title in Italian hands and become the next player to have their name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup. So with Mike Sexton at the WPT final table, the big question is, who will take the seat next to Vince Van Patten in the booth? Well, we are lucky to have one of the world's greatest players joining Vince to call the action tonight, Mr. Phil Hellmuth. Phil, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tell us, now you played this event, are you surprised by the Italians' love for this game?
Well, it's not just they love the game, it's the explosion of poker. When online poker was passed here in Italy, which we need to have in the US soon, 10 times the number of players they were expecting to sign up signed up. The Italians have a lot of passion for poker.
As for everything else in life, and Vince, who has their work cut out for them more? Mike at a final table filled with Italian players, or you in the booth with the poker brat?
Well, you know what? I think perhaps Mike, I would think. Phil and I go way back. It's been 20 years or so, but this is the first time we've ever been behind the scenes like this, calling it together. This is going to be a lot of fun. Really is. Now, Phil, I have to ask you something, though, because you are a very theatrical player. You have a lot of passion. I've seen you fall to the ground after a bad beat. Is it real, or is that just theatrics? Tell me the truth.
Unfortunately, that's 100% natural. I feel like John McEnroe sometimes, you know, where a judge misses a line call, an umpire, you're a tennis player, and someone makes a horrible play and eliminates me, and all I can say is I'm getting better.
I'm sorry to hear it. So John McEnroe, that's an interesting person. You couldn't be like Bjorn Borg, and no. Anyway, it's working for you. This is going to be fun. And tonight, let's talk about.
I'm getting better.
You are. You're great. And tonight, it's all about Mike Sexton. My buddy that's usually sitting right here has made the final table. He's got 3 short stacks around him, Kimberly. So maybe they'll get knocked out. This could be Mike's time. Who knows? Let's see what Mike has to say about it right now.
Well, I feel good here. I'm against all Italians, playing on their home court, but still, I like my chances. I got a little above average chips, so can't ask much for that. We'll just feel things out and see how it goes. I'm going to try to make spaghetti out of these guys. I just hope they don't make pizza pie out of me.
Well, hopefully we will all be dining on spaghetti tonight. Will Mike Sexton achieve the dream of all poker players and have his name etched upon the WPT Champions Cup? The battle for the WPT Venice Grand Prix title continues right after this.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
Reaching the final table is a step.
From Switzerland, Roberto Begni.
But winning it, it's the goal.
From Italy, Mr. Erio Islamai.
I dreamed about this day all my career. I'm ready for the fight.
Mr. Sia Lin.
Per me vincere questo evento è molto particolare, una cosa.
Well, I would love to hear something like, wow, this is the new WPT champion.
Mr. Rocco Palumbo.
Beh, qua è casa mia, spero di vincere io la Coppa, il trofeo e speriamo di portarla qua a Venezia la Coppa, dai.
I'd certainly love to get my name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup.
Mike Sexton.
It would be nice to cap my resume off with a WPT title.
Welcome back to the WPT Venice Grand Prix. We're at the Casino de Venezia. I'm Vince Van Patten, alongside the great Phil Hellmuth, the poker brat. Phil, what do you think?
Well, it's very interesting because there's 3 guys that have no chips. Basically, they're all short stacks, and they're all in their 20s.
Yeah.
So you know they're going to be getting those chips in. So you're going to see some very fast-paced action. They're either going to get busy living or get busy dying.
All right, the cards are almost in the air. Who will get dunked into the canal first? We will see. Let's go to the felt.
Well, look at this. Marcello with 1.8 million. I don't think he has the experience to get it done, but Sexton, it could be his night, Vince, with $1 million.
It could be. As we see the first place prize, 140,000 euros. That's about, I think, 180 US. So big stakes here. Mike Sexton first to act. Oh, look at this, his first hand. He's got pair of 5s, 55, the speed limit, as he likes to say.
Raise.
And he's going to pop it with it. Makes it 40,000 to go.
A comment about the min raise. I think it's a very good mathematical move, because if you can make that min raise and get everybody to fold, why risk more chips?
That's a good point. Now, Exia Lin had King Queen, but he's also going to release it. Maybe there's some fear here of Mike Sexton. And look who's going to win. Hand number 1, Mr. WPT himself, Mike Sexton.
Yo, Vinny.
Ho, 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 ho. Hello, partner. The crowd is loving this. Mike Sexton, the Hall of Famer, my buddy. Take it down, hand number 1. Nicely done, Mike.
There's some tough young Italians at this table. The guy on my right named Rocco, he won a World Series of Poker bracelet last summer.
Mike Sexton is a very good player. I honestly hoped for a worse player at the table, and he shocked how good and how confident he was when he was playing. He was fearless.
The guy on my left, in the small blind area, has the commentator's job for Italian TV here, like my job in the States. And when he's got chips, he is really tough to play against.
I am like Mike Sexton, just a little more thin. I learned a lot about Mike Sexton and his thinking process.
Well, my strategy is just going to be, you know, just sort of play my game and feel him out. It won't be an easy walk in the park, but I like my chances.
It's easy to underestimate Mike Sexton, and I've done it in the past myself, and he's beat me some big pots because he is fearless. And so if they underestimate, and they all have respect after playing with him for a day or two, they all respect him now more than they did before.
Well, we will see. Back to the action, a couple folds. And now it's around to Mike. He won't play this one. Lines are 10 and 20, and now Irian Islamé. He's got the button, he's got Queen 7.
What's that last name?
Islamé.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, he's the Mike Sexton of TV here in Italy. He's going to raise with his Queen 7. Makes it 40,000. Marcello out. Now Robbie Benyi, 43 years old.
Calling here is just fine. You know, a raise is a little bit more aggressive, gives you a chance to win the 40 that he put out, plus all the blinds and antes.
Raise.
Well, look at this. He is going to raise it. He started playing poker at age 16, Robbie did, taught by his father. Now back on Irian. He won't play.
And he put 100,000 of his 1.2 million to work there to pick up 50, 60,000 risk-free. Well done.
The former engineer used to work with computers. Robbie Benyi taking down this hand. They're the Royal Flush girls enjoying this week in Italy with us. We've been eating well, having a fantastic time. But the best time has to go to Mike. Look at this, his opportunity to put his name on the WPT Champions Cup, have it engraved with all the champs here tonight. All right, right back on Robbie Benyi. He looks down to a pretty attractive ace-9 of clubs, Phil.
How do you pronounce that last name?
Benyi.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Raise. He's going to raise with his ace-9 of clubs.
He makes it exactly 40. That was what we call a min raise.
And now Exia Lin won't play that. He was originally born in China. Now, look at this. Rocco Palumbo on the short stack with ace-queen.
Yeah, he has one move. It's all in. The math dictates that, and he knows the math, so.
I'm on.
That's it. You heard it from Hellmuth. Says he's going all in, and that's what he does. Sexton out. Irian Islamé. The Italian Mike Sexton, but thinner, as he says, goes out as well. Marcello with a 4-3. Thinking about this, not really. Goes out. And now it's back on Robbie. He's got ace-9 of clubs. He can afford this.
No, he can't afford it. It's 372,000 more. I mean, it's like a third of his chips with ace-9 when he knows ace-9 is the worst hand.
He's thinking about it.
I'm surprised he's thinking this long.
Well, these guys are dramatic. They're Italians, you know? And they like to take their time and finally does the right thing.
The Italian men do seem to be very dramatic, don't they?
Don't they? They like to take their time. There's a lot of passion in their games.
We'll be right back with more from the WPT Venice Grand Prix, including Tony Dunst shedding some light on tonight's players in the raw deal. And we'll see what the Royal Flush Girls were up to this week in Italy. There's a lot going on, so stay tuned.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Socrates Ioannidis from Nashville, Tennessee, is the latest member of Club WPT to live out his poker dreams. Socrates won a trip of a lifetime to Italy and his seat into the WPT Venice Grand Prix, all because he's a ClubWPT.com VIP member.
Oh, it's been the best experience ever, man. WPT knows how to do it.
In addition to playing in this world-class event, Socrates soaked in some Italian culture with the Royal Flush Girls. At ClubWPT.com, for a low monthly fee, you too can become a VIP member. This means you can play in as many tournaments as you want, win your share of the $100,000 in monthly cash and prizes, plus you can win a seat into a live WPT tournament just like Socrates did.
I expected it to be good, but not this good. So it's a great experience.
It's low risk with a high reward. Check it out for yourself on ClubWPT.com and never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. Looks like the final table action is ready to start back up, so let's check the standings and get back to the game.
All right, 6 players remain here at the beautiful Casino di Venezia in Italy, and as you can see, Mike Sexton with $1,085,000. But our chip leader at this point, Marcello Montagnier, he's got 1.8. To the felt we go. Actions on the young pro Exia Lin, born in China, now lives in Ferrara, Italy. He's going to fold that hand. Now it's on Rocco Palumbo. He has a pair of fours, but quickly lays it down.
I don't mind that play at all.
All right, Sexton also out. Now it's around to Arian Islamé. Got a pretty nice ace-6 offsuit. He's going all in.
Well, he has 316,000, so the shove just seems reasonable here. I mean, on the button especially.
Absolutely, but look at this. Marcello right behind him with a legitimate pair of tens. Wow. He's the chip leader. He could bust this man out of here.
316.
Okay, Marcello, what's taking so long?
Yeah, really, what is taking so long?
Yeah, it's a snap call.
Now he's not a professional player, Marcello. He actually works in a hardware store. He's an employee. He loves poker. He's been playing 4 years. And right now, taking so much time, he's beginning to look like a hardware store man.
But a hardware store man with a dream.
With a dream, that's right.
I call.
There you go. Makes the call. Robbie now.
I fold.
Folds his 4-3. So they are going to turn up the cards. And Arian Islamé in a bit of trouble. A6 versus a pair of tens. They shake each other's hands. What a moment here. Arian Islamé from Italy, 27 years old. Hobby includes sports and astronomy. Here we go. Oh,
wow, a 10 on the flop.
3 of a kind on the flop for Marcello.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I mean, basically it needs a 7-9 jack to even be drawing live.
A flop there for Marcello.
Yes, yes. It would only seem fair that some kind of straight draw would come on the turn.
Here we go with the turn. Oh boy.
It's a 7, and here we go. 4 9s will get the job done for the ace-6 to make a straight.
All the 4s are out, so he needs a 9.
Marcello says, go ahead, have an ace. You can make an ace.
Arian can't look. Is he going to hit his 9? Here's the river. It's coming down to this card. No. Not going to work out. A 6 on the river. So Arian Islamé out in 6th place. The WPT World Poker Tour commentator for Italy.
Sitting next to Mike Sexton. Does Mike Sexton's role he also gets to see a lot of hole cards.
That's right. He pushed him out into the canal. It is over for him. Picking up 24,000 euros. Let's see what he has to say.
My action is first, so I have to push. In this kind of situation, I have to take those blind, so don't worry. No problem.
Ariane was forced to make that move. I mean, an ace on the button, so he just shoved all in. That's fine. I think it could move kind of quickly from here. Still two short stacks that are very young, aggressive, and believe in the math of poker. They are going to get their chips in, and they're going to get them soon.
Yeah, very exciting. Mike Sexton, one spot closer to becoming a WPT champion. Let's see if he can do it. Back down to the felt.
The action is on Robbie here with the 6-8 of hearts. Don't let the internet kids see that you folded that hand. They don't fold the 6-8 suited 5-handed.
Exia also out, and now Rocco Palumbo with a king-6 with the buttons going to raise, makes it 40,000. Mike with a nothing hand folds. And here's Marcello. He is the major chip leader at this point. He is in the big blind. He's got just a 10-7. Let's see what he does with it. He's going to call it.
It's not the worst play, only 20,000 more.
He's going to speculate. And here comes the flop. It's Jack 9-5.
Great flop for Marcello. He flopped a straight draw here. He has to do something. He has to bet or check raise or check call.
45.
And Rocco not
now
getting anything. Bets 45,000.
So now what's he going to do? He's going to call probably, but raise would be really skilled.
Rocco's got just king high, and Marcello.
He's asking for a chip count. Is he thinking about just moving in?
Well, Rocco's on a relative short stack as well, so this would be a great time to just push Rocco right out of there.
I mean, he has 2.1 million. Rocco started the hand with only 458,000.
Oh, no.
What?
He's going to fold it.
That was redonkulous.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
That was a horrible fold. My goodness.
But don't forget, Phil, the guy, he's not a professional player. He works in a hardware store. He's an employee at a hardware store. He loves poker. He has a dream of getting his name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup with all the great champions of the WPT. And that's just not the way to get there, is it, Phil?
If he keeps playing like that, he'll be right back in the hardware store where we've all been, by the way.
I know it. All right. Back to this hand. Exia out. Rocco picking up the weapons of mass destruction. Look at this. Just like that pair of aces. Makes it 40,000 to go. Sexton out. And Marcello now with a 10-8. He's going to call with it. Right behind him, Robbie. 43-year-old who also lives in Italy. He's got a queen 10 of clubs.
Not a bad place to make a squeeze, because if he gets away with it, he wins both 40K bets and the antes in the middle.
But he's not going to squeeze. He's just calling with his queen 10. Lucky for him, Rocco's sitting on 2 out of bombs there. Pair of aces. What a time to get them.
American Airlines, yeah, great time.
And we are flopping. Look at this, a queen 7-4. That gives Robbie top pair of queens. Uh-oh.
And Rocco, to start this hand, had 575,000, so...
But hold the press. Look at this. Marcello, who got nothing of that, is going to bet. He's going to lead out.
Marcello bets the air ball for 126,000.
Mamma mia.
Now, Robbie has a decision to make here. I mean, he's most likely going to raise this, but then...
Top pair.
Raise.
Yeah, he's going to push it. He's going to be in a lot of trouble.
He raised pretty quickly here. I mean, basically, he's in a lot of trouble here because behind him is aces.
Yep.
He's putting in
252. This could be a huge hand.
Now Rocco moves in.
Well, I can't believe this. Rocco has folded the hand.
Okay, this just doesn't make any sense. It's a queen. Well, what is it?
The guy flopped 2 pair or set or something, but it's a very, very tight fold. Horrible fold.
Okay.
And Marcello, of course, has to go out. It's pretty shocking, Phil.
That was a stunningly bad fold there.
Well, it is, but especially Rocco he doesn't have any chips. He's on the short stack. That's a terrible play. But we'll watch it here so far.
More to come from Casino di Venezia. Stay tuned.
Sometimes you want to work on your poker game without worrying about risking any money. That's why we love to play on ClubWPT.com, where we can play as many tournaments as we want without the fear of going broke. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
I'm Jeannie, one of the Royal Flush Girls, and I'm here in Venice The Casino di Venezia is absolutely gorgeous, and it's the world's oldest casino. I love the architecture and all the intricate details. It's more beautiful than I ever imagined, and I'm having a great time.
We are back here on the World Poker Tour at the beautiful Casino di Venezia. Five-handed poker now. They're all going after a title, and right now Marcello Montagnier is the chip leader. He's a hardware store employee, not a professional player, but he's making it happen here tonight. Action's going to Robbie Benyi, professional player. He's going to fold. Exia very tight, hasn't played a hand yet, goes out.
40.
And now Rocco Palumbo. He's going to make it 40,000 with Queen 10. Mike Sexton. Get ready, sir. When are you going to open up your game? He's still got chips, though. Over $1 million. He'll play this, Phil.
I like that, Mike. I mean, basically what he's picked up on is Rocco's been doing a lot of opening. He's been opening a lot of pots. And Mike is like, okay, he can't always have it, and I don't think he has it this time, and this is the time I'm going to make the move.
He's made it to 100,000. Back to Rocco.
And Rocco's forced to fold because Mike has been playing very patiently for the last couple days.
Five-handed poker. This is pretty good.
It really is. I mean, watching Mike with a shot to win his, I mean, I think that, you know, pretty much almost everybody in the crowd's rooting for him who's watching this. And, yeah, I mean, he's put his dues in poker. He's been around for a long time. He's done a lot of great stuff for our game, and I think a win by him would be universally celebrated.
Well, he is on his way, playing shrewd poker. This time he picks up ace-jack, and he will make the min raise, makes it 40,000. Marcello, the chip leader. Hardware store employee goes out, and now it's on Robbie. And Robbie's got a king-queen.
Now, remember Mike raised earlier in the show with 2 5s, and Zia folded the king-queen. Let's see how Robbie responds.
I called.
He's going to call, likes the action. Exia out. And Rocco with a nothing hand. Not going to play, so we have two-way action. Mike Sexton with a big opportunity here. Ace-jack up against king-queen.
Now, Mike's going to c-bet almost every flop.
Look at this flop for Mike.
Except that flop.
Mike Sexton flops the nuts. Jack, ace.
If he's going to bet...
he's going to bet it.
40,000. I like the min bet because that's going to keep your opponent involved with a lot of garbage hands.
Exactly
and
what he bet.
People expect you to c-bet anyway, so pretty aggressive c-bet.
Well, Robbie's got the inside straight, that's all, and he's going to call. Mike is jumping up and down.
Mike is
going off in his head.
Robbie's rooting for a 10, and Mike's rooting for him to catch a 10.
That's right. But not a 10, it's a 6 of diamonds.
Now Mike has to check. Yeah, he has to check it. I mean, you just...
try to trap.
Right, sure. Give Robbie a chance to bet the queen 10 or whatever, in this case a king queen.
Very shrewd. Robbie does not bet. River card. Oh, that's not going to help Sexton anymore. Another ace.
That's an action killer from Mike. I mean, in this case, actually, it could induce a call because with aces and jacks on board, Mike could potentially have 2 10s and Robbie could call him, but...
Sexton is going to bet, and he bets a lot. 225.
He bet too much. I mean, he bet over the size of the pot here. I mean, you know, I don't like the bet. There's only 205,000 in there. He bet too much.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
I'm not sure that Robbie would call that much. He might call 50 or 100,000, but yeah, I think 100 is a good number.
Robbie's going to lay down the hand, and Mike, you know, it's one of those things where you win the pot, but you're still aggravated. He didn't get enough out of it.
I raised with ace-jack, I flopped a full house, I won the pot, but I'm kind of pissed off.
Right now, it's time to get more in-depth analysis on tonight's play from Tony Dunst in this edition of The Raw Deal.
It takes a long time to be dealt pocket aces. At the pace of your average live tournament, you can expect to look down at aces about once every 7 hours of play. And if you get aces when you're one of the short stacks at a final table, you would probably get your stack in. So why did Rocco Palumbo so casually ditch his aces on the flop? Let's break it down. The hand starts simply enough, with Rocco min-raising his aces in the cutoff and getting called by the blinds. It's after the flop that everything goes haywire. Marcello Montagnier bets out nearly full pot for 126,000 and with no real equity in the hand. Then it's on Robbie Ben-Yi, who's flopped top pair with his queen 10 suited. The play almost everyone anticipates from Robbie is a call. A raise with his hand here makes little sense. 1, the bet he's facing is already so big. 2, there's very few draws that he can be sucked out by. And 3, he's second in chips to Marcello. So if he loses a big pot against the chip leader, the real money consequences are severe. But Robbie defies expectations and raises the minimum to 252,000. This puts Rocco Palumbo in a bind holding pocket aces. First, Rocco has his own chip stack problem. He's 4th in chips and well ahead of the short-stacked Xia Lin, and he faces real money implications for busting this hand. Second, Rocco also believes that almost every time Robbie has top pair here, he would simply call Marcello's bet. So Rocco decides Robbie must have a better hand than him and immediately folds his aces. Now, although there should be few hands worse than aces that Robbie would raise this flop with, I still believe Rocco makes a mistake by not getting his stack in. It's a flop where hands better than top pair rarely raise, especially with an opponent already leading out with a huge bet. If Robbie had something like a set or 2 pair, he almost always calls the flop instead of raising and hopes that Rocco comes along for the ride. I get the impression that Rocco realized he made a mistake as soon as Robbie started stacking his chips. And while I don't know Italian, I do know poker players. So I think the conversation after the hand went, "Hey, did you have something good there? Because I made a really big fold." "Oh yeah, I had a set. Good fold."
Well, couldn't agree with you more, Tony. That was pretty bad out there. But right now, the antes are going up to 4,000 blinds, are 12 and 24. The hardware store employee, Marcello Montagnier, is the chip leader. 5-handed poker, Xia Lin. Let's see if he plays any hands tonight. No, not yet. Gonna lay this one down. Can you believe this, Phil? Rocco's picked up the weapons of mass destruction again.
Again. Let's see if he can play him right this time.
You're right. Makes it 48,000. Sexton out. Man, Marcello, the chip leader's gonna pass. And now, let's see if Robbie gets tangled up in this. He's got an ace-queen.
Wow. So look at really unlucky for Robbie, because this is just a snap auto re-raise.
Little does he know what he's up against.
Raise?
Be careful. No. He's going
Nothing
for it.
he can do. Rocco has 500,000 to start the hand.
Robbie makes it 103. Now look at the little acting going on here by Rocco. A little shake of the head, the grimace.
Yeah.
All in.
And then he goes all in.
All in. Okay, so actually Robbie could get away from this hand.
Call?
Oh, boy.
He couldn't get away from it. He's made what I think is a bad call.
Rocco Palumbo, who came in as one of the short stack with a big opportunity right now to double up here and take a dent out of Robbie's chip stack.
Culerone lì.
Crazy. I mean, it was queen 10 of clubs. He flopped top pair. He was supposed to double him up that hand.
And here is the flop. It's, wow, look at this. 3 spades out there. Robbie has a spade.
But Rocco has a higher spade.
That is correct. They're huddled together. Just a great flop there for Rocco Palumbo.
What do you think they're saying? They're saying, life is good. Yes.
That's right.
Yep. I'm going to win this pot.
I buy the pizza tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, turn 7 of hearts. Not going to change anything. Jack on the river.
Everybody's smiling in his camp. Life is good.
Big hand for Rocco Palumbo. He is coming back in this thing.
With Rocco Palumbo's double up, we conclude our first hour of coverage from the WPT Venice Grand Prix. But before we go, Phil, whose play has impressed you the most thus far?
Well, I'm not surprised that Rocco's play has impressed me the most at this point, and then behind him would be Mike Sexton. Rocco somehow, with a short stack, was controlling the table for a little while, and then knew when to kind of tuck his tail in and wait. He then got lucky with aces against ace-queen, but it seems like he's in control. The other players are afraid of him, and Mike is just steady, solid, knows exactly what he's doing. So I'm going to go with those two as my first and second choices.
And Vince, what should we be looking out for when action continues?
Well, I love it. You know, we're down to 5 players now. Mike Sexton, Hall of Famer, is playing like a genius. You know, he's dug the hole, he's putting the little branches and twigs over it, waiting for the suckers to fall in, and they will fall. I believe Mike Sexton will take this title, but we will see. This is fun.
It is indeed. Thanks, guys. Please join us next time for continuing coverage of the WPT Venice Grand Prix. Until then, for Vince Van Patten, Phil Hellmuth, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Ciao.
I don't understand what this is for here.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Venice, Italy is rich in beautiful landmarks, and tonight the biggest attraction on the Grand Canal is the Casino di Venezia, where continuing coverage of the WPT Venice Grand Prix starts now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the drain. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
Buonasera, I'm Kimberly Lansing, and welcome back to Venice, Italy. We're coming to you from the Casino di Venezia, the oldest casino in the world. Now, this tournament started with an international field of 173 entrants, and we are down to the final 5 players, including our very own Mike Sexton. Now we have a special treat, and it's time to turn to Poker Hall of Famer Phil Hellmuth, who's sitting in for Mike, and Vince Van Patten to give us some analysis on what we can expect to see tonight. Now, Phil, what is the optimal strategy at this stage in the game?
I mean, the optimal strategy varies on the stack size that you have, but let's just say that you have an average stack. I'm going to be looking to continue to play super tight. I'm going to be looking for some well-timed 3 bets, and I'm going to be looking to flop a set or play a big pot with ace-king or a big pair.
And Vince, this casino is such a wonderful setting. Now, do you think it adds a distraction to the players?
Well, it is an incredible setting. I mean, it's a 16th century palace. We are having a great time. I mean, it is awesome to see the beauty of this room. But those guys are playing poker, and they are in poker fantasy land where you just don't care where you are. So they are just dreaming about getting their name inscribed on the WPT's Champions Cup and becoming a WPT champion. So the answer is no. They are out there to play cutthroat poker.
Thank you, guys. Looks like the action is ready to start back up, so let's take a look at the chip counts and get back to the game.
Right now, Marcello Montagnier works in a hardware store, non-professional, is the chip leader with close to 1.9 million in chips. Our champion tonight's going to take down 140,000 euros. Blinds are 12 and 24. 5-handed poker, Rocco Palumbo, an Italian. He just doubled up before, folds the hand, and now the great Mike Sexton with ace-4 of hearts. Is this going to be the time?
Where is 48.
48,000, just a min raise, nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely, and now the chip leader, Marcello, picking up a pair of 8s. Pretty solid.
This is where I'd like to see a re-raise of some sort, Vince, because the re-raise gives you a great chance just to win the pot right then and right there. You could show the hand afterwards. I'm not bluffing, you know, but I like the re-raise here because if you let Mike have control of the hand and it comes king-queen, Mike's going to just bet and you're going to fold the 8. So take the pot right now.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. He makes it 100,000 to go. Robbie Benyi going to lay it down. Exia,
I waited for you to come back.
not surprisingly, folds. And Mike Sexton will release the hand. And that's exactly what he did, Phil.
Yep.
Shows the hand, shrugs, and says, hey, I'm top dog out here right now.
Mi piace giocare a poker per una competizione, è come uno sport. Per vivere lavoro su una ferramenta nella mia zona di Treviso e gioco a poker da 4 anni Lo faccio per passione, ho cominciato a fare questo gioco con i miei amici, tanto per divertimento, e adesso sono arrivato fino a questo punto. Mi sembra un buon risultato per adesso. Adesso io spero nel meglio nel tavolo finale di oggi, speriamo che vada tutto bene, e tutto qua insomma.
Oh man, he has got to be excited. Marcello, our chip leader, going from selling hammers at the hardware store to hammering these guys down. On the World Poker Tour, amazing. Only been playing 4 years, and now he has a chance of a lifetime to get his name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup.
The WPT hardware.
Hey, there you go. Short stack at this point. Xia Lin, 26-year-old pro, originally out of China and now living...
He's literally anteing off his chips.
Yep, hasn't played a hand, it seems like.
I mean, he just fold. We've seen this for 2 shows now.
Action on the great Mike Sexton. He's got queen, jack, and a lot of experience. Gonna fold that.
That's fine. I mean, you know, the other option is to min-raise queen, jack there, but I think I slightly prefer fold there.
Well, Marcello here with a king 10. He's starting to open up his game, and he makes it 48,000 to go.
The old min-raise, 48,000 to go.
Robbie and Xia fold their hands, and now it's around to Rocco Palumbo. Doubled up nicely early on. He's picking up big cards. This time he has ace-8, and he will call this.
The other play would be re-raise, but he doesn't want to get too aggressive with a hand like that.
The flop comes up 3-5-5, help to neither player. And Rocco will check it. And I like this, Marcello doing the right thing. Continuation bet with his king high. It looks like 54,000.
I like the C-bet. I like the C-bet a lot.
Rocco, though.
Well, Rocco's made a nice call here because what he's thinking is on the 3-5-5 flop is that I'm not calling to hit an ace or an 8. I'm calling because I think ace-8 is the best hand, and I think that my opponent will not bet on the turn.
6 of clubs helps neither player. Rocco is going to check again.
Now, if Marcello could have mustered a bet there, he would have won the pot.
Look at this. 8 on the river. Beautiful for Rocco. Picks up 8s. Top pair out there.
Gin.
With the 5s. Yeah, that's right.
Gin. His best possible card, really. An ace wouldn't even be great for him because Marcello could have like an ace-jack or something, but 8 is just like so safe.
Beautiful.
So nice.
86,000. By the way, Rocco has a World Series bracelet from a no-limit hold'em game back in 2012, so he's got some good experience, a nice title win there.
Oh, yeah. When you pick up a bracelet, $1,000 buy-in, how many people were in that field?
What do you know about bracelets, Phil?
I know that there
How
are
many you
probably,
got now?
There are probably 3,000 people in that field, is what I know.
Yeah. What are you up to, 14?
13 bracelets.
Good for you.
Thank you for asking.
Hey, this would be a pretty bad call here. He's got king high.
Okay.
And he does the right thing. Lays it down.
Seems like it took him a long time to make a routine fold.
It certainly does. But Rocco Palumbo now coming back. Former accountant. He's married. He has a 4-year-old son. And there are the Royal Flush Girls. Just enjoying the week here in Venezia.
And Rocco moves to second place in chips, by the way.
Wow, yeah.
The player with the most experience.
Except for Sexton, of course.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer Mike Sexton in major contention. Just not picking up the hands tonight so far.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's playing a good, solid strategy.
All right, we have a couple folds around to Rocco again. And look at this. Rocco has a pair of queens. He's got the ladies. Makes it 48. Mike out.
Come on. We watched the last show. Rocco misplay a pair of aces.
Yeah.
Then he picked up the aces again and doubled up against an ace-queen.
Yep.
And now he picks up queens. He seems to be holding all the hands.
He has, and this time he's getting action with his queens. Marcello has called with ace-7.
Non che mi tanga, ma c'è tipo 2 milioni. Tipo.
So let's see who will get lucky. And it's an ace just like that on the flop. Beautiful for Marcello. Out-flopping Palumbo.
Now I'm going to tell you that I'll take the opposite tack now and say it's kind of unlucky when you pick up queens and it comes ace-9 deuce, especially against a blind hand.
Marcello checks and Rocco bets, and Marcello's going to make the okie dokie call.
Because Marcello's defended so many times, he could easily have 10-9 here, or...
Oh boy, 7 of hearts on the turn, makes aces and 7s for Marcello. He's checking again.
What a card.
He's trying to trap again, make Rocco bet. And Rocco, like a zombie, is going to do exactly what he wants. He's betting it. 85,000.
I don't hate that bet. Jason, go ahead and bet it and find out where you're at. I mean, that's the last chips you're going to put in this hand. So you bet 85. If he has the, you know, if he can raise you here, then you fold, and that's the end of the hand. You know?
Marcello is going to raise, yep. He's doing the right thing. Make him pay off if you want to outdraw him potentially. Makes it 200,000 to go.
No, I think Rocco can get away here, and we're on to the next hand.
Throw up the white flag, perhaps. Make a nice lay down.
And when an amateur check raises you on 4th Street, there's enough information for you to let go of this hand.
Look at Marcello looking confident, and he should be, but usually a player looking confident is weak, generally speaking.
200, pieni.
Look at this. He looks like he's getting chips in. Yes, he is.
Whoops.
He's going to pay him off. This is kind of startling. Need to hit a queen on the river.
I'd say it's a pretty bad call.
It looks like it. This is great for Marcello, and a king on the river.
Okay, Marcello, you get maybe a free 150,000, maybe 250. A lot of people would bet 250 here.
He might value bet it, but he's not. Check, check.
What?
Oh,
he
boy.
checked aces and stuff. Well, he was worried about ace-king. Why would you be worried about ace-king? Rocco raised on the button. He could have had anything. He could have had ace-8, ace-10, ace-jack. He could have had king-queen of clubs and hit a king. He may well have called 150, 200,000 there. That was a really bad check.
Our second hour of coverage of the WPT Venice Grand Prix is just getting started, and we have more to come, including a look back at one of the best moments of Season 10 and a special tour of Venice with the Royal Flush Girls. Stay tuned.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to Venice and the World Poker Tour.
Venice is one of the most beautiful and unique cities in the world, but it also faces many challenges in preserving its wonders. This week, on behalf of the WPT Foundation, the Royal Flush Girls visited the Istituto Veneto di Scienze, Lettere ed Arti and found out about the role this historic organization plays in this magnificent city.
We are here at the Istituto Veneto to learn more about the preservation of the Venetian architecture, culture, and art.
Che Venezia è una città molto fragile, molto delicata. È una città anche costosa da mantenere.
The city is hundreds of years old, and it's very important to preserve this culture and history.
Compito di questo istituto è un compito di promuovere gli studi, le ricerche in ambito scientifico e in ambito di humanities, quello della salvaguardia della vita vile in Venezia.
I've been fortunate enough to come here and experience it, and hopefully generations to come will have the opportunity to also come here and experience this beautiful city.
What fascinating work. To learn more about organizations supported by the WPT, log on to WPTFoundation.org. The WPT Foundation, playing for a better world. Now, in the meantime, the game is ready to start back up, so let's get back to the action.
All right, we are back, and Marcello Montagnier, the chip leader, out in front at the Venice Grand Prix. Can he do it here tonight? Mike Sexton hanging tough. Mike is in second chip position at this point. Now, look at this, going to the floor here. Xia Lin going all in with an ace-3, finally playing a hand.
2 shows I've been waiting for him to make a move. He's finally all in.
Right behind him, Rocco with a pair of sixes, going to lay it down.
I don't mind that lay down. 182,000 is like, you know, what, 25% of his chips?
Sexton out, and now the chip leader, Marcello. Can't play his queen high, so the only one left to get by is Robbie. And he's got a jack 8 of hearts. He's in the big blind.
Easy fold. They haven't heard from Z in 4 days, so they all think he has aces, you know?
It's so true. Well, you get the respect, and Xia's going to get his respect and pick up a little something there. Well, I've got to tell you, Phil, Italy is well represented tonight at this final table, just as it was last season here at the WPT Venice Grand Prix, where Italian pros had the home field advantage. But it was a lone Russian amateur savvy play that caught our attention in this edition of the best of Season 10. From the very start of the final table, the Russian, Renat Bogdanov, employed a campaign of aggression and raised in the cutoff with a 9-7 offsuit. The next two players folded, leaving only the chip leader, Andrea Dato, in the big blind to get through. But that was not to be the case, as this Italian pro woke up with a big hand.
Most players as chip leader would probably three-bet right here.
And elected to just call the Russian amateur's raise. Up came up King 8-4, Dato first to act, checked. And with only 9 high, Renat put in the continuation bet.
He is doing it, Vince. He has come to play.
Dato thought about it before making the call. Both players checked the turn. A queen on the river hit Dato's hand, and the Italian fired out a bet. The action was now on Renat, and where most people would have insta-mucked their hand, the Russian amateur digested the situation, and in a bold, unorthodox move, put in a min raise, and it worked.
Unbelievable.
Throughout this grueling match, Renat Bogdanov would outplay 5 pros to win the Venice Grand Prix.
Your name is going to be inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup.
The Russian amateur demonstrated that maximum results could be achieved on the heels of a minimum raise in what has become one of the best moments of Season 10. There's the WPT Champions Cup. All the champions have their name inscribed on it. 11 years we've been going here on the World Poker Tour. And that is the one thing that's eluded this man next to me, Phil Hellmuth. I'm sorry to bring it up. You haven't been a champion, maybe a finalist. Say it like it is. You've been so close. You've won, you've lost. When you lose, you go to the ground, you roll up in a little ball, you make people feel things. We feel for you.
Yeah, I mean, that going in the ball was a particularly brutal situation for me. It just felt so unjust to me, so unfair, so, oh my God, I played perfect for 5 days. How could this happen to me? Unfair, and of course, I didn't handle it the best way. I did shake everybody's hand, but on the way off the stage, I fell onto the ground.
But it was the one, I have to say, it was probably the most memorable moment of the 11 years on the World Poker Tour. It's the real thing.
Wow. The real thing. It was the real thing. There was so much pain. There was an ace on the river in that hand, Vince. I had queens. He had ace-jack, and the river was an ace. And it was for millions in chips, and I was going to be like chip leader, and it hurt.
You're getting yourself worked up again. I'm sorry. We're back here, and this one is going on right now. Let's go to the felt. Rocco Palumbo has raised with ace-jack to 48. Everybody folds around to Robbie. And Robbie's got a king-jack of spades.
Call.
He's going to call it. Xia Lin looks at an ace. 6 of diamonds. He's going all in with this. He's shoving.
Why? Why go all in? I mean, you waited 4 days to move all in, and now you're going to do it with ace-6 of diamonds over the top of 2 people, at least one of which is likely to call you?
I'm all in.
Well, Rocco's saying, I'm all in. He's going back over the top with his ace-jack. And he's going to make Robbie lay down his hand. They squeezed him out.
Good luck.
So Rocco right now in a great position to knock out Xia Lin.
Wow.
Xia, they call him Tom Duan, 87. That's his nickname, because he loves Tom Duan. And he needs to get some luck
You could
here.
just call him All I Do Is Fold.
Ace-jack up against ace-6. Can Xia get lucky?
What a horrible flop for the ace-6. A 7 comes, he makes a straight. Yes, but he still loses. So there's a bunch of cards that will just kill his hand where he can't win. But a 7, it's basically over. Queen, it's basically over.
That's right.
Jack, it's basically over.
Yep. Wow. Here comes the 4th street for Xia. Oh, that's a straight there.
Oh, my goodness. Think about this. If Xia doesn't go crazy in this hand, think about this.
Yes.
Rocco goes broke on this hand.
You're right.
Because, oh, my goodness, Robbie would have made a king-high straight and busted him.
Xia Lin, he is out in 5th place. Going to take home 30,000 euros. The Italian has to say goodnight.
So we have to say arrivederci to ex-Ia Lin, who's out in 5th place. We'll be right back with more coverage from the WPT Venice Grand Prix in just a bit.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. They're the beautiful Royal Flush girls enjoying Venice, Italy. We are having a good time here, too. I'm with Phil Hellmuth. And right now, our chip leader is a guy that works in a hardware store, non-professional player, Marcello Montagnier, out in front with 2.1 million. 4 players remain. Into the felt we go. Action on that man from the hardware store, Marcello. This time he has an uneventful 9-5. Folds the hand.
We call it the Dolly Parton hand.
That's right. That is right. Good movie back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, a long time ago. Don't date yourself, Vince.
I did. Robbie Benyi with a king-queen. Gonna raise with the button. Makes it 50,000 to go. Rocco gonna lay it down. Our very own Mike Sexton now with an ace-9 of clubs.
Mike is, you know, he has 2 options, obviously. He's never folding. He can raise it or call it.
Raise. He says raise. He has made it 105 to go. Mike Sexton doesn't like to call hands. He either likes to get out or raise.
I'd like to see him raise a little bit more. He only raised, you know, 50,000 basically, 55,000. And I think I'd like to see him raise a little bit more.
Well, he's been called here.
Because he wants to just win it here and now.
Here we go with the flop.
Ace-9 of clubs is too vulnerable. But not on that flop. Now, that's a great flop for the ace-9 of clubs. If you had the best hand before the flop, you have the best hand now. Go ahead and bet it and take it.
Well, that's exactly what Mike's going to do. 80,000 with ace-high. A little tickler into Robbie, who got none of that. And Robbie's going to lay it down. The master at work, Mike Sexton. Take it down this hand, Phil.
Yeah, patience, patience, patience. And then when you do make a few C-bets like that, people give your bets respect.
Mike Sexton at the table looks so benign. You know, he's just so gentlemanly. There's no aggression on his face like, oh, don't do it because I'm going to come back all the time. He puts you into that sleepy sort of phase. I got him down now. That's what he does. That's his strength.
That's the Mike Sexton you see.
Yeah.
That's the Mike Sexton you know is different. He's not going to let you run him over.
You always hope you can get to the final table when you enter a poker tournament, but as we know, it doesn't happen very often. I'm glad to see that I'm still kicking and can hang in there with the young guys once in a while.
Welcome to the World Poker Tour.
Fortunately, I've seen every final table in the history of the World Poker Tour for 11 seasons, so I know who's winning and I see why they're winning. So hopefully I can take some of what I've learned from those guys and bring it to the table today, and let's see if I can get the job done like they do.
Well, he's got a big chance here tonight. Mike putting himself in his second chip position at this point with 4 players remaining. As you can see, the hardware store man, Marcello, out in front. Marcello's only been playing poker for 4 years. Mike's been playing for about 400. So we'll see what happens. Marcello with a quick fold.
I'm sure it's benefited Mike to see all these different styles. He has a, you know, he's a Hall of Famer with a ton of experience. He's in a great position. Mike Sexton will win this tournament.
Raise. Well, right now it's on Robbie. He is going to raise with Jack 8 of diamonds with the button. Makes it 50,000 to go. Rocco Palumbo came in as a short stack, and now he's doing quite well with close to 1.2 million. Will not play that hand, though.
The 8-9 of hearts. Interesting laydown there. Not really a young person type of laydown. But look, the young person folded the 8-9, and the old guy called with the 6-4 of hearts.
He really did.
Role reversal.
Mike's going to stick around, and look at this. Bingo, bango, bongo, like he would say. He has flopped the nuts, and he's going to check it.
Look at that flop. That is just a thing of beauty. He has flopped the nuts straight. There's no flush draws.
Robbie going to check behind him. Ace of clubs on the turn.
Well, ace is one of those cards where I just think Robbie has to bet. He has to represent the ace. Mike could easily have a hand like, 6-7 suited, queen jack. So Robbie has to represent the ace and fire here.
To Mike's delight, he's got the pigeon betting, and it's 55,000.
Now Mike has to consider his options. Miracle against miracle. Robbie could have a 4, and in that one case, a big raise makes a lot of sense. Or maybe he has an ace and Mike thinks he'll call.
All right, repop. Yeah, makes it $1.80 to go.
Too much. I think he raised a little bit too much. I mean, Robbie has nothing anyway.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see him raise a little bit less than that. Give Robbie a chance to call if he had ace-8,
Yeah, well, Robbie's going to release the hand. Mike Sexton picking up that pot. Just flopping the nuts.
Chop and shutta, as we say. Mike's chop and shutta.
All right, we've got a good one going in Venice so far. And you should know that in addition to our main tour stops, the WPT holds regional and national tournaments of WPT caliber with a variety of very accessible buy-ins, ensuring players a high-quality experience worthy of the WPT name. Now, since we last saw our viewers at the Bay 101 Shooting Star, the WPT has hosted a regional event at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tampa Bay, where Alan Percal took home over $80,000. And across the world, the WPT hosted national events at the T Vegas Casino in Grand Bay, Mauritius, the Aspers Casino in London, England, and earlier this week, in this beautiful room we are sitting in right now at the Casino di Venezia. Gabriele Leporte won 92,000 euros, and after his victory, he set his sights on the next level.
Winning a WPT National is great, but I want this also.
WPT main tour stops, as well as our regional and national events, are held at some of the most beautiful properties in the world all year round. To find out where you can play, log on to WPT.com.
People don't play real poker on social poker sites because there's nothing to win. On ClubWPT.com, we play real poker for our share of $100,000 in real cash and prizes each month. It's real poker for real players. ClubWPT.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Is something about poker that is international.
Casino di Venezia is an amazing place. I love the Italians that play poker. They have a fervor about their game. When somebody's all in, they jump up and we'll look at that table and see what happened to the guy. They high-five him if he wins the pot.
Italian loves poker. Is in the DNA of Italian people to play.
It's really a fun atmosphere to play poker here in Italy.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. 4 players remain. And right now, Marcello, the chip leader, 2.1 million. Mike Sexton out in second chip position with 1.4.
But I like Mike said, I like what he said. He said, oh, it's just a lot of fun to play poker. Yeah, it's always fun when you win.
So true.
But seriously, I did have fun playing with the Italian players, and they have such passion for the game.
Action's on Mike, a quick fold by him.
And I folded the 6-4, so he just flopped a straight with that hand. What's he doing?
That's right. Marcello out, and now Robbie Benyi.
Ace-8, great hand to have in the small blind here. And, I mean, you look at the blinds are 12 and 24,000. He's sitting on, 500,000. So basically he has 20 big blinds. Some people would move in with that hand. I don't like that play, but the math is close to where you're probably, it's getting close where you're supposed to almost move in with that hand.
Lucky didn't, because right behind him, Rocco has picked up ace-king.
How lucky has Rocco been against Robbie?
All in.
And Rocco says, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to push all in.
Yep, and the all-in raise may allow